ओके। अस्सलाम वालेकुम बच्चों। अच्छा, ये बताएं कि साइंस की जो इंक्वायरी, हम कोई नई साइंस करते हैं, नई रिसर्च करते हैं, तो हम इंक्वायरी कैसे स्टार्ट करते हैं कि हमने साइंस करनी है, हमने रिसर्च करनी है। उसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं? ऑब्जर्वेशन, एनालिसिस और आउटपुट। ये तो हो गया इंटेलिजेंट ना। अब एक प्रॉब्लम है, उसको एड्रेस करना है। फर्ज किया हमारे पास इनोवेशन, मैंने कहा था कि इनोवेशन क्या होती है? अच्छा, जो पहले डिस्कवर नहीं हुई उसको डिस्कवर करना। उसके लिए क्या करते हैं? हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये चीज अभी तक डिस्कवर नहीं हुई? गैप एंड लिमिटेशन। उसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं कि हम रिव्यू करते हैं लिटरेचर। हम लिटरेचर स्टडी करते हैं, हम बुक्स पढ़ते हैं, हम डिफरेंट आर्टिकल्स पढ़ते हैं। उनको फिर हम समराइज करते जाते हैं। अच्छा, ये डाटा वहां से जनरेट हुआ, ये डाटा वहां जनरेट हुआ, और उस डाटा के ऊपर ना हम फिर क्वेश्चन रेज करते हैं। क्या करते हैं? अच्छा, क्वेश्चन क्या होता है कि क्वेश्चन रेज इस तरह करते हैं कि फिर हम उसके आंसर ढूंढते हैं। रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर के अंदर क्या करते हैं? आपको मैंने कहा था कि आपने ना कोई टॉपिक ना उसको रिव्यू करना है। क्या करना है? रिव्यू करना है। उसके अंदर हम फर्ज किया, हम चेक कहते हैं कि पब्लिक हेल्थ को पब्लिक हेल्थ कब कहा गया। अच्छा, वो कौन सी ऐसी रीजन थी कि पब्लिक हेल्थ का डिपार्टमेंट बनाया गया। ठीक है। अच्छा, जब पब्लिक हेल्थ बना किसी कंट्री में सबसे पहले, तो वहां ऐसी क्या इनोवेशन हुई कि लोगों के कई और दुनिया के मुल्कों में पब्लिक हेल्थ बनाया गया। ठीक है। ये क्वेश्चन है। अब आप इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर ढूंढते जाएंगे, ढूंढते जाएंगे, ढूंढते जाएंगे। फिर उन क्वेश्चन के आंसर में से देन यू विल क्रिएट न्यू क्वेश्चंस एंड कीप ऑन डूइंग दैट। अगर आपको क्वेश्चन का आंसर मिलता जा रहा है, इट मीन वो रिसर्च हुई हुई है, या वो डाटा जनरेट हुआ हुआ है, या वो इंफॉर्मेशन ऑलरेडी दुनिया में मौजूद है। लेकिन वो इंफॉर्मेशन जिसका आंसर ना मिले, वो आपने खुद एक्सपेरिमेंट करके करनी होती है। ठीक है। उस दिन मैंने बताया था कि एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस होती है, एक इंटेलिजेंट होती है। अच्छा, हाइपोथेसिस क्या होता है? ऑब्जर्वेशन की बेस के ऊपर हमने ये स्टेटमेंट देनी कि ऐसा होगा, या ऐसा हुआ होगा। लेकिन अभी ये कंफर्म नहीं है, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ। अच्छा, अब ऐसा हुआ होगा को समझने के लिए हम एक एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं। अगर जो इस तरह हमने सोचा था, जो एक हाइपोथेसिस बनाया था, ठीक है, और एक्सपेरिमेंट करने के बाद एग्जैक्टली वही रिजल्ट्स आ जाएं जो हमने सोचे थे, इट मींस आवर हाइपोथेसिस वाज राइट। या या तो हाइपोथेसिस राइट होता है, या उसका एक अल्टरनेट व्यू होता है। हाइपोथेसिस या तो राइट होता है, रॉन्ग नहीं हम कहते। दूसरा क्या होता है? अल्टरनेट व्यू। भी फर्ज किया जो आपने सोचा था वैसा नहीं है, उसको अल्टरनेट तरीके से कुछ हुआ होगा। ठीक है। ये बात है, इसको हम कहते हैं हाइपोथेसिस। ठीक है। और साइंटिफिक इंक्वायरी के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है आपका रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर, उसके अंदर इनोवेशन, फिर आप उस बेस के ऊपर आपका क्या है? हाइपोथेसिस बनाना। जब आपका हाइपोथेसिस बन जाए, फिर आपने एक मेथोडोलॉजी के थ्रू वो रिसर्च करनी है। करने के बाद आपके पास एक रिजल्ट आता है। अब आपने उस रिजल्ट को जस्टिफाई करना है कि ऐसा ही रिजल्ट क्यों आया, ये क्वेश्चन है। भी अगर हमने कोई एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है, या हमने कोई डाटा निकाला, हमने कहा कि डेंगू की जो आया है लाहौर के अंदर, उसकी वजह यह है कि श्रीलंका से लोग आए होंगे जो अपने साथ डेंगू लेके आए, और उसकी वजह से ओके, वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम? यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड उर्दू? नॉट येट। Okay, okay. Go there. Please said you are welcome to Pakistan. Okay. So when you keep on studying, उसके बाद हम हाइपोथेसिस बनाते हैं और उस हाइपोथेसिस के बाद फिर हम क्या करते हैं किया our purpose is to understand the फर्ज किया our purpose एक रिसर्च करनी है हमने हमने ये देखना है कि there is a plant species when we grow that plant species in salt affected soil when we grow a one plant species like watermelon when we grow them in an area where there is a salt and there is a decline in the yield of the watermelon or there is no growth of the plant and there is also a decline in the yield of the watermelon. अब ये observation, this is the observation. Now, there is a need to find the solution of this problem. What we will do? Okay. From this, we will study that what happened to the watermelon plant when it is grown on a salt affected soil. What is the phenotype of the plant? What chemical changes occur in the plant? Which chemical is actually produced? Which chemical is produced that actually hinder the growth of the plant? That actually, okay. So for that purpose, first of all, and there are many questions arises. First question is, what happened to the plant when they have grown under salt stress? And then other question, is there, we will survey the literature. Is there any plant in the world that are resistant against salt stress? There is no decline in the yield of that plant when we grow under salt stress. Got my point? You need to survey the whole literature. Is there any plant in the world that can survive and there is no... Okay, let's see. There are control plant of that plant that is a salt tolerant plant, and we grow under normal condition. Then we grow under salt condition. Under normal condition, if their yield is 80 kg, just suppose, and there under salt stress condition there is 78 kg. It means there is no significant decrease in the yield of the plant. But watermelon plant, when they grow under normal condition, their yield is 80, and under salt stress, their yield is 50. It means there is a significant decrease in the yield of the plant. Why this plant is susceptible and why this plant is tolerant or resistant to salt stress? Now from that we will first of all what we will do what is going on inside that and what is going on. Why this phenotype? What is the phenotype? Appearance, physical appearance of the anything or plants, animals, or everything that is known as the phenotype. Now our purpose is to understand why this phenotype and why. What this okay, if there is a gardener or there is a technician who just grow these plants and see that there is a decline in the yield of this and decline in the yield. This is a technician work. This is a, where is science? Where is a science? What happened? Why there is a decrease in the yield of the plant? Why? A normal person can tell us that अगर हम माली को कहें तो वो हमें बता देगा कि there is a decline in the yield of the plant when they grow under salt stress. But they are not scientists. Scientists is that why there is a decrease in the yield? What happened to the plant when there is a salt stress? When there is a, what happened to the plant? This is science, and you need to explore that mechanism. Why this plant is okay? For that purpose, you need to understand: is there any research in the past on salt affected plants or any plants that grow on salt? And we review that when this plant they grow under salt stress, there is a chemical that is known as proline. That is produced, and this helps this plant to survive the. Okay. Okay. First of all, we need to know what happened during salt stress. What happened during? What is a salt? For that, we need to understand what is a salt. Sodium chloride. What is salt? Sodium chloride. When these plants are applied water that contains sodium chloride, or the soil that contains sodium chloride, when we add a water, this sodium chloride is converted into sodium ion and chloride ion. And it means in this form, normally little amount of everything is good. Even we drink salt, water, no? Little amount of something is good. But when you take that in high amount, this will be toxic to our body. Similarly, the case with plants, when there is a lot of amount of sodium and chloride ion, what they will do, there is a charged particle on it. There is a, आपको पता है आपके सर के ऊपर आग लगी हो, what if you have a fire on your head, what you will do? पानी फेंकें तो you will do something. Or there is a possibility कि आप टकरे मारे and there is वो आग इधर ट्रांसफर हो जाए, ये डैमेज हो जाए, आप ठीक हो जाए. This could be damaged and you can be. Similarly, these molecules, they actually damage the other molecule and so that they become neutral. So the neutrals. So these atoms or these molecules or these ions or radicals, they become neutral. They become. Why there is a positive charge? Because they lost an electron. They will gain electron from some other molecule, and then they disturb the structure of that molecule. If the structure of this molecule is to carry some molecule like that, but if there is a sodium salt, sodium ion is there, then they cannot carry that molecule. It means the function of this protein will be disturbed, and there will be a decrease in the physiological function of the plant. Because of this, there is a decrease in the yield of the plant. Okay. But what happened to the plant where there is a tolerance? Where we found that there is some proteins that actually transport the sodium ion into the vacuole. And there is very much evolved, very modern proteins or very well adopted protein that actually transfer this ion into the vacuole. From the vacuole, it is excreted from the plant. Because of this, there is no damage to the one. So what we will do? The question is that which protein are present in that plant. If we introduce this protein into that plant, we can make them a salt tolerant. We can make them a salt tolerant. Next question. Whether these plants naturally have this protein or not. If there is a protein in there, but okay, you know what? How the proteins made? DNA makes RNA, RNA makes structural dogma, molecular biology, transcription and translation. You have an idea about that. How proteins make? It means there are the genes. If the protein is there, this protein is made from DNA to RNA to, it means there is a gene. There is a gene of that protein that is present in this plant. A question is that whether same gene is present here or not. First of all, we need to identify that. To take the DNA of the plant, watermelon plant, and identify whether this gene is present. Okay. If the gene is present, then why they are not making protein? There is a second question is coming. If this gene is present in watermelon, as it was present in another plant, that is a color grass oil. Gene is there. Then why plant is not tolerant? You understand what I mean? Okay. Gene is there, but the plant is, this is a question raised. Then we studied that, we have eyes here. We all overall body that contains 46 chromosomes. You study that in biology, in FSC, that we have 46 chromosomes. And each cell of the body has 46 chromosomes. And there are 30,000 genes in human. How many genes? And each cell of the human, they contain 30,000 genes. Each cell of the human, they contain 30,000 genes. What is gene expression? It means that gene, when gene makes RNA, it means gene is expressing. If there is no RNA, got my point? What is gene expression? If there is a synthesis of RNA from protein, from DNA or gene, that is known as gene is expression. If there is no protein or RNA is made from that DNA, from that gene, it means the gene is not. You got my point. It means there is a problem in the expression of the gene. There is a possibility if there is a problem in the. Okay. No, come to the point. If we have 46 chromosomes, 30,000 genes in each of our cells, here is a 30,000 genes, here is a 30,000 genes, here is a 30,000 genes, here is a 30,000 genes. There is a question arises. Why there is the eyes here, not here? Because all cells, they contain same number of genes. All cells, they have same number of chromosomes. Why we have eyes here, not here, brain here, not here, not here. In girls, they have here. Okay, why? People from Plaza. Why we have eyes here, not here? Okay, this is very good answer. She told that there are some genes, they express in a specific environment. The environment for eyes-related genes are that when there is this type of environment, they only express in eyes. There is a skin-related environment, only those cell genes will express there, which is helping the skin to form, helping the protein to make skin. Got my point? No. There are two types of genes. Genes is that they are highly specific. They are highly. All genes are not expressed at all times in all part of the body. Only the specific time, like that. You are studying here in my class. Only this time. Not in the evening, not in the on Monday. Why? This is the time for my expression. This is the time, and this is the location. Not location is the next, because there is a programming in my they send me the title list of program. They program me. I have the expertise. Based on my expertise, they program me like a board. They tell us that you have to go to that class and then will deliver a lecture. Similarly, all these type of programming and are present in our body. Our body DNA is like a supercomputer. Codes artificially, more than artificial intelligence. They know where which gene is to express and where this gene is not to. Okay, so that's why if this is all controlled mechanism, not uncontrolled. This is a, if there are isolated genes are expressed here, then there will be eyes here, but it will not happen because we need to have a specific environment to express that gene. We need to have a, okay, it means this specific environment is not present in case of watermelon. But how we can provide that environment? The next question. By changing the gene structure, yeah, this is genome editing. You have an idea about that. हम gene को edit कर दें and or spraying some chemicals. That chemical make that environment and the gene is expressed. Two ways. Either change the structure of the gene or change the environment of the gene. Change the environment of the gene. And अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं कुछ 10 बजे तक ऑफिस में आ जाऊंगा. नहीं, कोई नहीं मिला. मौजम साहब से पूछ रहे हैं, मौजम साहब से पूछ. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? Or to be in science, or to conduct experiment, or to ask questions, how to conduct experiment, and this is a logical thinking. This is the okay. After we identify the environment of the gene, how we can start a project. First of all, we will say that there is a chemical that is produced in this plant. This chemical trigger this gene, maybe XYZ, like any chemicals like abscisic acid or salicylic acid. And this salicylic acid, along with the expression of that gene, the expression of salicylic acid was also very high. Then we spray a salicylic acid artificially on the plant. If the same gene, salt tolerant gene, is expressing, it will be discovered. We discover a chemical that induces the expression of that gene, and ultimately they help the plant to survive under salt. This is the innovation. No one else in the world has done this watermelon in the before. This is the innovation. This is the, you got my point? Or to conduct experiment, or to, because this is science of global challenges, we need to, there is a lot of global challenges faced because of the advancement in science, but we need to study how we can minimize these challenges, how to minimize. So we need to understand what is the problem, what is the, and then to do something to mitigate that problem. So for that purpose, you must be a very good scientist. You must be a very good researcher. You must be a very good innovator. You must have a always ask questions. Why this problem happened? What could be the solution of that problem? How to tackle this problem? How to conduct experiment? How to do some survey so that from where we can understand the situation. Okay, if you keep on questioning, trying, and doing experiment, this will enhance your cognitive brain. And whenever there is another problem came when you are a professional and you are in a job, you can easily solve this problem by identifying the problem and then taking some experiment. And okay, that's why you are now intelligent in public health. You are now, when you are on a job, definitely there will be a daily problem came, and your job is to solve or mitigate that problem. What you will do if you don't know how to identify the problem, the company will kick you off from the. But if you are in a government job, then you don't need to do anything. Company will not kick you off. That's why the Pakistanis are in that condition since last 75 years. We are not studying like that. You got my point? What is the problem? Problem is to understand the problem. Problem, we are not understanding the problem is that we are not. How to understand the problem? By doing, first of all, writing a review article. First of all, writing a review article. Understand the problem. What is the problem? Based on that, we will design some experiment. Based on that, we will make some hypotheses, and then these hypotheses will lead to experiment. And after the experiment, we will come up with a surprising conclusions. Come with a surprising conclusion, and this is innovation, and that's innovation. You got my point? What is science? What is intellectual things and artificial intelligence? G, who are you? This is the first and the last time. Okay. And then question is that knowledge is expanded and refined with each diversity. By recognizing science as a dynamic solution, one appropriate the critical role in advancing our. Yep, you can read that things through this article. What is the logic? Logic serves as the foundation of critical thinking. What is a critical thinking? Out of the box thinking. दिमाग से आपने सोचना है कि ये प्रॉब्लम कैसे हल करना है, ये क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग है. प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग कहते हैं ना, जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इज अ क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इज अ टाइप ऑफ क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग. ओके, द इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ लॉजिकल प्रिंसिपल्स इनटू आवर थॉट्स. लॉजिकल, अब लॉजिक क्या है? व्हाट इज अ लॉजिक? I'm just telling this story in Punjabi, maybe in Punjabi. एक गांव में एक पढ़ा लिखा बंदा है. उसने कहा कि मैं ना, आई एम कमिंग फ्रॉम यूरोप एंड आई एम स्टडीइंग लॉजिक हियर. उसने पूछा चेयर जो तो था ना, वहां पर जो बंदे बैठे चौधरी, उसको बताया या किसी बंदे ने बताया कि मैंने लॉजिक सीख के आया हूँ. व्हाट इज द लॉजिक फिलॉसफी? इट सेज दैट आप मुझे ये बताएं कि आपके घर में बकरियां हैं. कहते हैं यस. तो बकरियां कम है या ज्यादा है? ठीक है, उन बकरियों की खेल देखभाल करते होंगे, यस। फिर उसके बाद आपने ये बताना है कि इट मीन्स दैट उसको देखभाल करने के लिए, ठीक है, आपने काफी ज्यादा लेबर रखी होगी, ज्यादा बकरियां हैं, यस। इट मीन अगर ज्यादा लेबर है तो आपकी वालदा होगी, जो इसको मैनेज कौन करता है, वो वालदा है। इट मीन आप बहुत अच्छी मैनेज हो रही है, इट मीन ये जो है ना, इट मीन आप अमीर हो, आप पैसे हो, इट मीन बहुत अच्छी मैनेज हो रही है। इट मीन आपकी जो है ना वालदा बड़ी अक्लमंद खातून है आपकी। कहता मैंने सिर्फ आपकी बकरियों से ये अंदाजा लगा लिया कि आपकी वालदा जो है अक्लमंद खातून है। अब मेरे जैसा कि बंदे ने घर जाके मुझे लॉजिक आ गई, उसने अपने किसी बंदे को पूछा, अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ लॉजिक क्या होता है। वो कहता है जी थोड़े घर बकरियां है, कहता नहीं ये मतलब थोड़ी पालदा अच्छी औरत नहीं हैगी। इट डज नॉट मीन के लॉजिक ये है, लॉजिक को सीखना पड़ता है कुछ करना। यू अंडरस्टैंड? नो नो नो। So it means yeah, your mother is not a good woman. Okay, so that's why. So we logical. Logical means critically thinking, thinker. अगर ये मल्टीमीडिया चाह रहा होता तो कितना मजा आना था, बड़ा मजा आना था आप लोगों को पढ़ाने का। ओके, एट द कोर ऑफ लॉजिकल रीजनिंग टू प्राइमरी फैक्टर, डिडक्टिव एंड इंड्यूसिव रीजनिंग विद द जनरल प्रीमिसेस जो ओके okay, अगर हमारे पास तमाम मैमल्स आर वार्म ब्लडेड है, मैं बताता हूं क्वेश्चन। अगर तमाम मैमल्स वार्म ब्लडेड है और डॉल्फिन भी मैमल है, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि ये एक वार्म ब्लडेड है। ये रीजनिंग है, ये क्या है, इस बेस के ऊपर हमने ये मालूम कर लिया कि डॉल्फिन कैन आल्सो बी अ वार्म ब्लडेड। ओके, सो एंड top down approach lead to the conclusion that are irrefutably true provided the promises are accurate. On the other, inductive reasoning operate in opposite manner. It involves gathering specific observation from a broader पीढ़ी वो जात जो इंटेलिजेंट लर्निंग है रिप्रेजेंट मल्टी फेस्टेड अप्रोच टू एक्वायरिंग नॉलेज दैट इज क्रूशियल इन बॉडीज। ये यही चीजें मैंने एक्चुअली ऑलरेडी बता दी हैं। हाउ टू गेट नॉलेज, हाउ टू, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू जनरेट डाटा। व्हाट इज अ डाटा? नहीं, एनालाइज तो बाद में डाटा को करते हैं। व्हाट इज अ डाटा? ओके, किसी भी चीज की इंफॉर्मेशन दैट इज नोन एज data. If we collect that data, that how many of you are belong to South Punjab, how many of you belong to Central Punjab, how many of you belong to Northern Punjab and other province of Pakistan and out of country. This is the data. This is our data. This is a data. And how to understand uh, from that data? There is no public health department in Balochistan or somewhere else. From that data, we can say that in future, in 10 or 20 years, because of the public health students that are producing from this department, can help to better the public health department of Punjab. We can say that there is a possibility. It's a forecasting. That is known as weather forecasting. We can easily tell the person that if there is a rain happen or not. If there is a rain happen tomorrow or there is a rain there or not, because of the data of the previous data we collected from many years, we are collecting the data like if the temperature is 35, humidity is 75, and time is 8 a.m. Okay. If same type of data was existed in the past, what happened after 4 hours? What happened after 4 hours? If there is a rain after 4 hours, we can easily predict that there will be a rain. That's why we have weather collection data. We have a weather collection data. Data, nowadays there is a merging field that is known as data science. That is the data science. You must know to have a basic understanding of the data science if you really want to be a very good in public health administration, because there will be a lot of data will be generated from, okay, and then you need to analyze that data. Then there is a need to analyze data, and from data we will we will we will extract information from that. We will extract information from that. That is known as data science. That is known as to understand the data and to extract a logical information from that data. That is known as data science. And data science is the basis for scientific discoveries. Data science is also a basis for scientific discoveries, information, scientific, logical, critical thinking. Okay, you got my point? So you need to understand this amazing dynamic worlds, how to acquire knowledge through this. And there is a artificial intelligence. I have already told you, if there is no fire discovered, there will be no artificial intelligence. मैं बताया था आपको, क्या बताया था? Tell me in English. What I told you before, if there is no fire discovered, there will be no. They eat fresh meat, no cooked meat. In the past, prehistoric era, all the people they actually eat fresh meat, no cooked meat. So that's why they need to work hard to digest that and to chew that meat. So their body is very strong, and their body is very strong. And but brain is little. And there is a small, like Dole Shah ki chuhi, like there is a small brain. But when after the discovery of the fire, this actually changed the cooking methods. So now the people they cook the meat. Now when they eat, they don't need to work hard, and because of this, there is a change in the body structure of the human. Their brain is getting bigger and bigger, and their body is smaller and smaller. वो कंध छोटा हो गया. You know, their height is becoming smaller and smaller. And on an average, there is up to 5.6 feet height. Before that, it was around 7. Just because of this discovery of fire and discovery of atta milling. Because before that, the people are gatherers are hunters. After that, the people are now they are making bread. They are making bread on fire. They are making bread meat on fire, and that's directly destroy all the vitamins that are present in the fruits and vegetables. And that's actually when we eat as the food, there is weakness in our body, and our height will be there will be a disturbance in the height. Okay, and this event, but our brain is developing. So people, there is a Mesopotamian civilization. In there, the people they actually discovered a lot of new things like wheel. Is discovered in What is Mesopotamia? Five 5,000 years ago, there is a civilization between the two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates, and the Dajla and know what is the Dajla and Frat. In between these two rivers, there are a civilization in the present day Iraq. In the present day, you know the Iraq, Baghdad is very famous from ancient time because it's a city, it's a country with a lot of scientific discoveries, with a lot of philosophers, with a lot of thinkers, with a lot of critical analysts. Since ancient ages, even in the Islamic Golden Age, during the Abbasid Empire, there is the House of Wisdom. There is the House of Wisdom that is developed by the Khalifa Al Mansur. You know the when you know the Abbasid Empire, and during that, yeah, okay, there is a Khalifa Al Mansur who built this Baghdad, and where there is the they actually translate all the books, Greek, Chinese, Indian, European books into the Arabic language, and they make Arabic as an official language. And it is mandatory for every person in Abbasid Empire from Morocco to Central Asia, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, they all is a part of Abbasid Empire and some part of Makran division in Balochistan. They all the part of one empire that lasts from Morocco to the Central Asia, and there is a big empire, and each empire, everyone really should read Arabic, should write Arabic, and should speak in Arabic. And at that time, Arabic was an international language. Arabic, every person in the world, they prefer, they were happy to speak in Arabic. Even the Europeans, when they came back to their वो अपनी महबूबा को कहते थे या हबीबी, okay, they called their loved one in Arabic, I love you in Arabic. Okay, so that's why it's very famous. Like we say that I love you, but in the previous time when there is a Islamic Golden Age, all the people in the world, they preferred to speak in Arabic because they were the international. What we did with this language when Pakistan is made, Pakistan is created, Pakistan is there is a it should be implemented in that Pakistan as an official language. Why it was not implemented? There is a political, there is some Western interest, Westernization, and a Western interest. There's a one person. Not these ulamas. They did something so that they can force the government. Even Bangladeshi people, Bangladesh, that was a part of Pakistan. They were saying that हम छोड़ देंगे बंगाली को as a official language अगर आप Arabic, if you keep Arabic as a official language. इतना उन्होंने, there is a fight between Urdu and Bangla, which should be the but we keep Bangla and Urdu as official language and not Arabic. If then instead we make English as an, how English they become an international language? How English become an international language? United Kingdom, yes. Yeah. They forcefully, actually, they changed the syllabus in India, in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh. They taught all these syllabus in English, and that's why because of the colony, because of the British Empire and their colonies, all the people in the world they speak and they become the English they become the. Now we should shame on 56 Islamic countries who still did not make Arabic as an international language, official language, and at least there should be a one language that our Quran is in Arabic, so we should everyone must know Arabic, and it should be an English. 1492. After 1492, what is the why 1492 is very important? 1492 is very important year in the history. Renaissance in Europe. There is a war between Muslim Andalus, Spain, and the Isabella and Queen Isabella. And what's the name of the king? I just forget the name of that king. Isabella and okay, and there is a king. After the 1492, when the Christians they defeated Muslims and Jews in Spain. Muslims they forced the Muslim to get out of the Spain and even the Jews. Then the Ottoman Empire they give the citizenship to all these Muslims and Jews in the Istanbul. So they can live there. Okay, they give them that by Muhammad Fateh. But after Fateh, there is another. Before that, the Istanbul was conquered by the Muslims. 1435. 1435 was a year when Sultan Muhammad Fateh they actually destroyed Eastern Roman Empire. You know that Eastern Roman Empire? Byzantine Empire? Very knowledge of the you don't know the history? But before 1435, Istanbul, name was Constantinople. That is called at Constantinople. Okay, that was the part of Eastern Roman Empire. That is known as Byzantine Empire. And the Sultan Muhammad Fateh. Go the history. Why you guys don't know? Excellent. So it means these are taught in your school. Excellent. So you should also know that what is the history. How Muslims did at that time, during that time, 1492, Muslims were superpower. Like nowadays, USA, superpower. USA, superpower है like that. It was in 1492. Muslims were whatever the Muslim Khalifa says, there is a problem in each and every part of the world. What Muslim can do? So like that, the USA says anything and we can go. Like that. They say sorry to Muslims at that time. Okay? And they were the golden age and where the Muslims, they are Arabic. After 1492, Ottoman Empire, क्या किया ऑटोमन एम्पायर ने? उन्होंने ट्रेड बंद कर दिया यूरोप का कर दिया. ये यूरोप है, ये इस्तांबुल, ये इंडिया, सिल्क रूट, चाइना. All the people they take from here, the people they take masalas, spices, kali mirch, and all other agriculturally important things, even handmade clothes, they were taken from India to Istanbul by the Asian people. And from Istanbul, the Europeans they come here and purchase these cloths and then take them to the back to the Europe. But Muslim, when after the fall of Spain, the Muslim, they actually are not allowed the European to came to the Istanbul for trade. Okay, and there is a lot of problem in Europe because there is no agriculture in the Europe at that time. So the people they become poorer, poorer and poorer. अगर आप किसी को बहुत गरीब कर दोगे then they will think differently. Then you will think there is a Christopher Columbus who discovered America during that era, 1492. They traveled to the Caribbean island. Where he says that this is South India. This is West India. This is the west of India. That's why this after that there is a name West Indies. West Indies. It is a West India. And after that there is a trade, the European they, and this is the time when the Europe they become Renaissance. There is a Renaissance in the Europe. There is a critical thinking scientist. सबसे पहला ये यूरोप में 1492 के बाद ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में जो सबसे पहला डिपार्टमेंट बना था डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ अरेबिक बना था एंड देयर वाज नो साइंस डिपार्टमेंट देयर. हम कहते हैं कि ऑक्सफोर्ड कैम्ब्रिज 1200 की बनी हुई है. देयर वाज नॉट अ सिंगल साइंस डिपार्टमेंट बिफोर 1492. इट वाज अ मदरसा ऑफ चर्च योगा है देयर इज अ स्कूल का था ना. There's no science there. But after 1492, the first department that was established in that Oxford and Cambridge University, that was the Department of Arabic. And they, जी डॉक्टर साहब, नहीं लेने आ रहे. 3300 रुपये. मैं क्लास पढ़ाने बाद गल कर. अच्छा समझ आ रही है कि कैसे साइंस के अंदर तरक्की आई हमारी. अब हमें क्या करना चाहिए. एक और कहानी सिर्फ लास्ट कहानी सुनानी है कि अब क्या हुआ कि साइंस के अंदर इंडिया से बाद में जो यूरोप में वो सारा they discovered अमेरिका एंड वहां से ट्रेड वो सारे मसाले जो इंडिया से लेते थे अब वो अमेरिका को कॉलोनीज बनानी उन्होंने नॉर्थ एंड साउथ अमेरिका. एंड देयर इज अ gradual change in the economy of the Europe and they become rich because of the trade between Latin and South America and North America and Europe. अब क्या हुआ यूरोप इंडिया में क्या हो रहा था उस टाइम. इंडिया में जो आपके क्लॉथ्स थे ये जो कपड़े पीपल दे एक्चुअली उसको क्या कहते थे हाथ से बुनते थे तो जुलाई कहते हैं. एंड देयर इज अ वेरी big industry of hand woven clothes in India. And all these clothes they traveled to Europe and they got a lot of. And India was the second biggest economy of the world at that time. At that time, biggest economy of the world was India in during Mughal Empire. Okay. फिर मुगलों ने क्या किया कि we did not develop any technology, and there is a technology developed in the Manchester, or there is a machine, textile machine that was developed in Manchester, and there is the efficiency of the machine is also increased. There are more suits were made at that time, and they are also very good in politics and in business. Like what is the politics? दो लफ्ज आपने सीखने हैं तो पॉलिटिक्स समझ आ जाएगी. पावर और पावर को सस्टेन करना। How to get power and what to sustain that power, that is known as politics. What does it mean power? पावर का मतलब क्या है? आपने लोगों को बताना है कि मैं पावर में आऊंगा और I will do that things for you. I will be a communist. I will be a Marxist. I will be a Islamic Khalifa. I will be a Amir al-Mu'minin. I will be whatever else. There will be a environment that will help the poor. Do something else. So that definitely people will vote for you. आप वादे करेंगे और अगर लोग आपकी बातों को यकीन कर लिया तो then they will give vote and ultimately you will be the prime minister of Pakistan. But to sustain that power, we need to do something else along with आपने जो वादे किए थे, you must implement these so that people who give you a vote definitely they will demand that what you have said during the election campaign, you must implement that. If you are unable to, it means you cannot sustain that power. But other parts do want to do something else to sustain that. This is politics. Okay? What is economics? Science of money. Science of, it means these gurus are very good in the science of money, in the science of politics. They know how to, they give heavy taxes to all the trade that was coming from India. And they become very, more महंगे हो गए. You got my point? And but the clothes that are made in Manchester, there was a tax free, and the people they buy more clothes from England as compared to because they were good in politics, they were good in economics, they were good in and there is also a person in Scotland, Smith. The name is Smith. They gave the idea of capitalism. They gave the idea of capitalism. They say that everyone has the right that they can keep on working hard, they can earn money, they can keep on installing new companies, new industry, and they can be rich. This is a capitalism. But there is a lot of issues in that the people some people they become poorer and poorer. Then there is a Karl Marx, German Karl Marx. They write a book that is known as that is against capitalism. They are the scientists of capitalism. They told those people how capitalism may be pure. They collect data, they analyze that data, and they make timeline of that data and tell that persons how capitalism is not good for a common people, but they're good for feudal arts, feudalism, and all the people who are. After that, they gave the idea of communism. What is communism? Sarkar ke haath mein, everything is the hand of the government, and no one can be a very rich and no one can be a very poor. Like China, like Russia. And this idea was picked by the Lenin. You know the Lenin? Lenin was a Russian. Yes. वो एक्चुअली उसने क्या किया था लेनिन ने एक पूरी एक कैंपेन चलाई थी बेस्ड ऑन द आइडिया ऑफ मार्क्सिज्म एंड दे विन दैट मूवमेंट एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस देयर इज अ न्यू गवर्नमेंट वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन रशिया दैट इज नोन एज यूएसएसआर in 1911 in United Soviet Socialist Republic. And Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Russia, Rajasthan, Ukraine, even that all that are part of that single country. Okay. लेकिन इसका नुकसान ये हुआ कि लोगों ने कहा कि अब हम जितनी मर्जी मेहनत कर लें हम अमीर नहीं हो सकते, बहुत अमीर, हम जितनी मर्जी मेहनत ना भी करें हम इतने गरीब नहीं हो सकते. That's why people they support got hard. कहा था आपका जो लेनन ने. अच्छा एक और बात बताऊं इन सारी बातों का, ये लेनन, स्टैलिन, मार्क्स, कार्ल मार्क्स, ये सारे एथियस्ट. Pakistan, in your department sociology, they teach the ideology of these guys, but they are not saying that they are atheists. And वो कहते हैं कि यार ये आम लोगों की बातें करते हैं, ये आम लोगों के हकूक की बातें करते हैं, but all they don't believe in God. Even when there is a Russian Federation was made, there was a ban on a religion in there. No one can say that he is Christian, he is Muslim. No one can. You got my point? So you must know what is going on in the world. Yeah, that's you got my point. She knows more. Excellent. Excellent. What is your name? Marwa. Marwa is excellent in history, and that's great. We should know the history, and we should know why. What is the difference between the different empires? Why some empire collapsed? Why some empire they remain there for 200 years, 2000 years? Why there are some empires who just was big empire but collapsed in 100 years? Like no. Genghis Khan. No, it's a big empire but collapsed in 100 years. Genghis Khan was Mughal was also Genghis son. Okay, and Timur and Genghis, the Mughal, they are all actually descended of Genghis Khan. Why Genghis Khan? This Mongol Sultanate was destroyed with cruelty and साफ नहीं था. There is no justice, injustice, and zulm, and that's it means कोई भी empire अगर आप देखें ना, रोमन empire 2000 साल, 2000 years, it means there must be something like is there. And similarly in Spain 800 years of Islamic empire and 600 years of Ottoman empire. Why इतने ऐसा क्यों ये नहीं है? You should know why these empire existed for so long, because of the justice. You must know where we will go, what will be our future, what we will do. मैंने कहा ना कि वो जो Manchester ने नई टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप की, because of this the trade and everything that goes towards UK, not towards the other countries. If these technology was developed at that time in India, what will happen?